Good evening, afternoon, morning, whatever it is to you. It's your boy Monkey D. Pookie, and I'm back, reincarnated. Welcome to 2026, and this is a video I've re-recorded multiple times. The market changes a bunch. I want to do this. I want to diversify. I want to start making content again. So in this video, we're basically going to do a general overview of what to expect in the One Piece card game in the future. This is not going to be about product release dates. It does influence some factors of what I talk about. But for the most part, I just want to talk about what my perspective is and how I've kind of come to be. And I'm just going to rant and look at cards on TCG Player, which is the price or the website, I guess, that kind of sets the price for me in my area, North America, Ontario. So we use this site. These are in US dollars, so there is some conversion fun, and I'm not going to get too into it, but I'll just refer to everything in their US dollar pricing today. So keep it nice and simple. First thing up is the pre-release of the Azure Seas 7. So that's OP14 mixed with one half of VBO4. Sounds confusing. There's other videos on it. Feel free to explore. I haven't posted enough recently, so everything I have on my channel is a bit dated. However, for the most part, never really buy pre-sale, especially not, you can check and monitor it, of course, especially if there's cards you want. I know I want SP Boa Hancock. This is 41 blue. This is a blue card, so it's not the yellow super rare that comes out. This is the leader. It's the alt leader card, so sitting at 200. I know I want the SP version of Boa Hancock. I believe it's in this set. And yeah, I'm willing to, from my perspective as a person who collects yellow SPs, yellow cards in general, I know it's going to be a pricey card. And personally, I'm hoping for around 250. If I see it at 250, that's probably when I will pull the trigger. I'm not going to be opening nearly as much of this product. I really just need 4 Boa Hancock super rares and then all the other uncommons and commons that make the set. So what I'm going to do for the start of this, and this will be the first kind of chapter, I guess, in a sense, I'll go by best selling, even though this will just be hits in general. So this is going to be a brief talk on what the market looks like right now, what the card game is showing, and comparing it to when I was playing at the time, which was 2023 summer. So when I first started this game, things were a lot different, but some things remain true. And this is a great card to start with, because Bartholomew Kuma is not necessarily a rare card by any means. It's a secret, so you'll get 4 of them in a case of OP12, the set that it comes from, Legacy of the Master. So in general, it's 4 copies in an entire case is a lot, but compared to other secret rares that exist, this is as printed as its counterpart, which would be Jewelry Bonnie. I don't know. Yeah, this card, which is half the price, and that's the alt art. So the alternate art of the other secret is less than half the price of a base copy of Kuma. So regardless of what I'm saying, there's as many Kumas as there are Bonnies out there, give or take. This is purely because of how good this card is in the meta. So now you see people, and I can't doubt that there might be collectors who get confused when some of these cards pop up and become expensive. And they think, oh, Kuma must be a sleeper character that people want to collect, when in reality, it's actually just a share of players versus collectors. And I don't really want to pit them against each other, because this is purely a player's purchase. Like this card has never been under $20. Because it's that good of a card. And I play yellow. I picked up my 4 alt art copies when the set released. I watched them all drop down and I went, oh darn, I should really pick up more. I didn't, and here we are again. So my perspective on the game is that we are player dominant, and that is what's going to determine our base SR's price points, and other niche cards, whether they come from starter decks, that's a whole different issue in itself. But we have players who are buying cards that are super relevant, such as SR Marco, which is really strong. And now we have collectors who are essentially inflating cards they think should be expensive, either based on the character or the art. So This card came out a year ago, more than a year ago, I think in October, September, when OPO8 dropped. And it was, it's a beautiful card. I cannot deny this. Like, this is a lovely card to have in person. But pretty much since the summer, there was a little motion, not much. The real hype kind of hit in the last quarter, during the fall, winter. And I personally think they could drop back down maybe somewhere between this shelf, but I think the ship has sailed for these large characters like Luffy, Boa, Nami. There's a lot of stir about this Nami card. Absolutely unplayable card by every mean. Like, this is purely because Nami is a good character and not because this card is a good card. And I remember trying to explain this to someone. They counter-argued by saying Rayleigh wasn't that expensive, and then it popped up. But or Secret Roger, I guess, more so better case. They said Secret Roger looks beautiful, and that card was undervalued for so long. But the thing with these two cards is the text on this card is actually just it doesn't provide anything. And I'm fairly certain that if they printed a card that would abuse this and make this card actually disgusting, there would be other cards available to purple and, mostly Don-minusing. There are other cards available to purple that are so much stronger than this. Like, it would break way more cards than just this. So that's my 2 cents. Cards are purely going up. Their value now is being split kind of half and half by collectors and players. Whether you think it's bad for the game or not, I think it's a little too rapid growth. It happened a little too quick. All my alts are up a ridiculous amount. And it's kind of silly. I don't blame people for wanting to sell out. And that helps people who are collecting the game, get more cards to collect. Players who have been playing for over a year have some of these cards. Like this promo card was 50 cents. Unplayable. Absolutely unplayable. But it's a Luffy. As soon as it's Luffy, it's different. I have screenshots. Maybe I'll throw it in there. I bought a couple copies of this for 50 cents. Put them in a stack, forgot about them. Imagine if you bought, all 50 available on TCG Player at the time, or hundreds of them. You spent $50 worth of that Luffy card. And that's where I kind of see, as a player, this doesn't really apply to us because this is going out of our way to pick up cards that we intend to sell off. And I think that's kind of fair for these purely, promotional cards that literally came out with anniversary events with a certain stamp. I'm sure another Luffy card will show up. Things have changed. And I think this is a perfect kind of talk, and these winter cards are a great one. So anniversary winners, and in general, these cards tend to come out at an inflated price, taper off, drop, and then return in value over time. Whereas we see with this winner, which came out first week of November, some people got kits early, was readily selling for multiple hundreds right out the gate. So winning or top fouring in big events for these pre-releases for OP13, it was a $60 buy that got you, or let's say American dollars, it's a $30 buy or something for 6 packs, a couple promo cards that are also worth quite a pretty penny, and then the chance to win this card. So plus whatever you pull in your packs. And if we look to any other winner card, I'm just gonna show off my ability to quickly navigate. None of these are, I'm not gonna look at the beginner deck ones, but any other winner card will be a better indicator. One that's come out recently. This has been 2 years. What was last year's winner card? Some of these are really bad looks, but I guess we can look at the buggy winner. That doesn't say winner. There you go. Look at the buggy winner. So, comes out the gate, kind of pops off. It doesn't show the pre-release data, but it was definitely higher than 25 at the time. And that's just something, and it tapers off, and then I think people are buying this up now because if we cut it off at September, it makes more sense because that's when the people started buying these cards for collector value. So up until this point, this was the trend. They kind of tapered down, whatever, into obscurity. But what we've seen recently is just things pop off. They blow up in price. Kaya Winner, Event Pack Volume 6. This might have up to a year in data. So Kaya's pretty popular character comes out, tapers down, reaches a steadier price. Winners are supposed to be about 10-ish bucks. Here we are. Kaya has dodged the buyouts. It's kind of hard because of all the factors involved, but like other winners, like this is a 2-year-old winner card now, and you can pretty much see, wow, something you could have been picking up multiple copies of is now over 5 times the price, 7 times the price. Kind of weird. So the boat's missed. You missed the boat on Monkey D. Luffy, Straw Hats, Boa Hancocks. That's tough. However, I think this opens up to the future. This opens up the possibility of other characters, characters that are known to be popular. Buggy, Katakuri, slightly more obscure characters. Had to get a sip of water. This opens up the gate for other characters, though, to become more popular, like this Ryuma card, even just good art. Already kind of jumped back up, probably part, in with these best selection booklets. These are booklets that had 2 cards of each color. So you get 12 cards, 2 for each color, and they have really awesome art. Sometimes this is a promo that's only available in this booklet, by the way. Kind of weird. So maybe a sleeper, maybe 16 is still a good buy point. I'm not sure. That's for you to decide. That's for you to find what is valuable to you. We are in the promotion cards. I see. I want to start bridging out to the next topic because I think I've kind of made my point clear that the price on certain cards are just gone and they have been decided. But for us meta players, there's, if you want to actually play the game, there are other cards that you could have picked up earlier and they dodge the confusion of everything. You can jump ahead of the meta because this card, playsets of this card for $5 versus $60 right now. It's kind of, it's crazy to think about. So this is a great bridge point because I do want to start talking about what cards I think will go up in the future. And let's start going back sets. We talked about Azure, the 7, whatever. I will remember that name later once the set releases. As of right now, not my problem. We could go by best selling. I'm going to switch to best match because this will show us cards that are actually relevant to us as players. So I think all SRs and all rares are at a good price to pick up. We will see certain, cards in the future of this video that are way above $1, and I'm just going to say, in terms of general power of all these cards, they are absurd compared to the last year of cards. Like they are progressing in how much they do and how much they achieve, how much value your card gets you when you play it out. Yet there are still cards from older, the last 2-3 years that still hold up after all this time. But for starters, Newgate, 100% a $5 playset is worth it to me. This card does so much. And it's a blocker. Even if you don't get the on play, you're playing a 10-12 blocker. We don't see Blackbeard in the meta as much, so you never actually have to think about that kind of outcome. But still, this card comes out. If Dawn needs to be on your leader, perfect. He attaches it. I think so many hybrid decks with blue involved will add this. Like this could easily be their top end. If not, some other kind of other cards that are getting released because they have printed a lot of big, strong cards for the coming sets. Jewelry Bonnie, a little bit niche, but we are going to get Egghead tribal leaders, I believe. There probably will be a Borsellino or a Kuma that comes out eventually, and I hope to God they'll have Egghead typing. Hopefully they're relevant to that arc. And I think it's super relevant with this, we just got Egghead wrapped up in the anime. the card game can now go absolutely crazy, and hopefully the anime gets to the next big character that they really want to bring to the game by the next anniversary set. I don't want to spoil anything with regards to anything, but all these cards, anything under $1, even under $2, like the only card that isn't under $2 is 5 Elders. And I just think it's because of meta relevance. This card has room to go down. It has room to go down. It's very, very limited to just Emu. And right now, players are forcing this card above $3 right now. That's my position. That's how I think about it. And it is the most expensive SR. It is only played in that deck, whereas every one of these other cards, everything else except for maybe Bonnie, but it picks a whole tribe of Egghead, which doesn't limit it to just Emu leaders, so that's kind of the main point. But every other SR, every rare, the green rares are insane. Oh my goodness. Even, the 6-drop 5 Elder Stars, they are both really strong. Like, Marcus Mars pops up base 5 cost, and it becomes a blocker. As long as you had 6 in the trash before you played him with his on-play, he's a blocker. And even, if not, okay, maybe it gets removed. Maybe it forces removal because they don't want to deal with a blocker later in the game. There's a lot of potential. A lot of these cards are powercraft, very strong. I highly recommend. Next, one more setback. Premium Booster, PRBO2, where they introduced new PRB coded cards. So these come from the set. They have the PRBO2 code, and there's only 18 of them. 2 rares and 1 SR per color. And what I would tell you is, if you see any of these SRs, if you play any of these colors, picking up a playset of each of the cards in your colors. So as a yellow player, like, I would focus on the yellow cards, wherever they might show up. Like, yep, I guess I'm soaking $32 on Otama's. Boa is like $10 a card, and then Ace is like $1, so not too bad. Spend $80, get the 3 playsets you need. It's a bit better for other colors. I think purple is safe. The other purple rare is Dofi. Green's a little expensive. Probably the most expensive. And then blue, which is just Marco, Mr. 2, which is dirt cheap, and Jinbei. So actually blue could be the cheapest. Depends on the $5 and $8 cards. A lot of these reprints too are also some of the best cards, I would say. Definitely worthwhile to pick up. Monkey D. Dragons for under $1. Like, if you have $20 to spend, why not buy upwards of 40 SRs if you can, ignoring the shipping cost. Some secret rares, creators like VV Theory suggest under $10, under $5 for secret rares is a good price, and I would back that opinion. I would simply say, because of it going up in price in the future, that kind of reassures you that this purchase is worthwhile. And other cards I would suggest is Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. I think this is a slept-on card right now. It's expensive, but you can bottom 2 6-drops. And into the upcoming meta with Gecko Moria, Boa, I don't know. I'm sure Doflamingo can get around this with Virgo, but there are a lot of good targets upcoming, mid-rangey decks, and this card used to be like $3 to $4. Right now, Red Rock's the expensive card, but once a year passes, or even 6 months pass, and this card hasn't been reprinted since October, I think you're going to see this card spike back up to like $3 to $5. And its trigger is really strong, bottoming a 5. So that is my PRBO2. I would say comb through the entire set list. Whether you go on, I like Card Trader, it's my favorite website. Really easy to get an itemized, order 4 of each card you want from each independent seller, and you can sort it by the actual set, so you don't have to go between the set list and then type in characters and filter through all the versions. Yeah, it's a little bit easier, but pick up some of these absolutely gross cards. If you're purple, you need to get Usohachi, wherever Usohachi is, the 2K. It's been reprinted, $3 right now. I want to go on a mini tangent about PRBO2, and we can learn. Maybe this will be a lesson for the new year. So I had the opportunity to pick up a case for 2,000 Canadian. So that would be closer to 1,500 USD. I think, about 140 USD per box, 145, 150, I think if that converts correctly. But that was essentially the price I could have paid. I split 2 cases with a bunch of friends, and it was such a blast. This set is really special because at the time, as someone who's played this game for, I've had the chance and the opportunity to pick up all these cards. Some definitely better deals than others, and other ones I overpaid because of how much they reprint, but that's just the way things go. And I will say, when I opened these boxes, knowing that I was pulling an Usohachi in every box when this card was going for $10 a card, that's how much I at least sold my playset for. When I had the opportunity to, flipped it for $40 a playset. And because I knew it was getting reprinted, but it still demanded that price because of how relevant the card was in the meta. And so just that factor, you get 2 secret rares per box. You get basically all of these SRs, which I have seen be $5 in the past. This used to be $5. This used to be $20. And obviously they're not these prices anymore. Things have changed. This used to be a $20 SR, maybe even up to $30. I forget. It was definitely played as a really strong 2-drop blocker. Anything else, just in general, it just felt very valuable to me. And I guess the point of what I'm getting at is that this was a no-brainer. Like, if you want to invest in a set, you should pick this up. And another point that really drilled this home for me is how hard it was to hit any of the premium booster cards. With 18 available cards, I found myself getting less than half of the available SRs, and that's including alt arts, which you do tend to get, I would say in a case, you would get like 10 of the PRB alt arts, maybe even guaranteed 1 per box. I'm not too certain on that, but it felt like I was getting 1 in pretty much every other box. So I was almost getting like 4 copies of each card after maybe 5 boxes, and that's including an alt art copy. Actually, no, I needed more than 5 boxes to get playsets because I still didn't have full playsets of some cards like Boa Hancock or the super rare Sabo. But this is just to kind of remind you that these PRB exclusive cards are not as available as other cards that have been printed. Because they did such a unique box with PRB02, I think, 1, it was a no-brainer to buy these boxes. They should go up in price. And 2, the natural consequence of these boxes going up in price is probably that the hits and the exclusive cards, the cards that are the hardest to hit, go up in price. And since you essentially get 1 of every SR that's been reprinted, and then maybe like 3 of the premium booster SRs and like maybe 5 rares, with that ratio, they're actually a lot rarer than I think most of the other hits or just like regular cards in the set are. And I think this is a really good time to consider picking them up because of that. So if you're holding PRB02 boxes, hold strong. I foresee them continuing to go up. And if you have, if you want to spend money either to get into the game or to make investments so that in the future you don't have to pay absurd prices for decks, I would definitely consider picking up playsets of most of these cards, especially the ones under $5. And these are just rares and SRs. So you draw the line where you want it. If you want to buy the $10 SRs and playsets, definitely consider. But this is a sleeper set, absolutely gross set. So finish off, and I don't think there's much else to say. We covered a lot of ground today. So main takeaways of the video is new year, new me. We're going to try and upload. I'm going to upload these ranty videos once in a while, probably on the order of every 2 weeks. But I want to get back into showing decks and live games because I have a nice setup and I have a cool locals that has a thriving meta that you need to see. So hopefully in the new year, if you're going to try and get into this game It's a little expensive for the collector value cards, but it's a really good time to pick up a bunch of cards that will be staples in the future. So $100 to your name, I'd be picking up close to 100 cards, whether that's uncommons, commons, rares, and SRs from the last 2 sets. It'll be a lot easier if you just get the OP13. But yeah, think about how crazy it is actually that OP13 is so expensive right now. Like, let's see, here we are. I need to quickly see it. It's so, like, the box itself has just jumped. It's absurd to me. So, like, you know, you could buy these boxes for basically a chip under 400, and your best hit could just be like 2, you know, $8 cards. Like, this is so, the ceiling just makes these boxes go crazy. So I think, yeah, I don't think people are ripping these boxes as much because of the price. And so, yeah, definitely pick up some of them cards from that set if you want to make a smart investment. But yeah, that's my 2 cents. If you have a big collection, definitely offload some stuff. My next upload about this will probably be the kind of, I'm going to go through, I guess, the rationale of what cards I want to keep and what cards I'm selling and my reasoning behind both. Because I do need to thin my collection. It's a lot of cards, about time to sell. And like, the bulk is most of the problem. But this is definitely a good time to, you know, cut some losses and, you know, tighten up the collection so you have less fluff and just keep all the good stuff. So that's my 2 cents. Hope you have a good new year. I will be around, get to play locals tonight. I don't know what deck I'm going to play, but we're going to have a fun time. So your boy Monkey D. Pookie is signing off. I hope you have a good one, a good 2, even a good 3. Hopefully I see you a little bit before then, though.